Here we are at the end of the walkable section of the old branch to Coniston, which branched off the main line at Foxfield and went to, as I say, Coniston. It closed probably one of the beaching cuts, but we're going to walk back towards Broughton now with our faithful investigative reporter Bert, who's a bit camera shy today. But we're going to go walk back to Broughton and maybe highlight a couple of the things that of interest along the way back. Obviously with the recent storms, quite a few trees have come down. A lot of them have gone down the embankment in that direction, but we just stopped here because something of interest is the dry stone wall, which you probably can't see in the sunlight. We'll wait till we get past it. But the beautiful dry stone wall which has survived since the railway's closure, but it just goes to show what effort went in to make the aesthetic of the line fit the landscape, and it survives to this day. It's quite impressive. To do a dry stone wall now, probably it's about £200 a metre maybe, to replace it or reconstitute it, so to speak. But quite impressive still around it all this time. Right, okay, so we've just stopped at the first sort of structure that we've come to, and it's an old railway bridge, and I think it's just access to and from the farm. It's obviously the bridge is quite overgrown with nature since the railway's closed, but you might get a glimpse of the abutments there again. Beautiful stone abutments. I assume the railings, which are now wood, weren't wood at the time, but these have been put on obviously for safety reasons. And you can see where we've been, the footbed, or trackbed, sorry, still in reasonably good condition. And we've got the next section to come. The thing about walking old trackbeds, generally they're in pretty good nick and they're good walking routes because they're sort of not too steep and not too awkward to get along. It's not in every case, obviously it can be muddy and things, but this one's probably one of the best. And the section that they've opened up, it's probably roughly 1.5 miles each length, so it's roughly a 3 mile round trip back to Broughton. But we'll push on now because dinner time beckons. And Bert is enjoying himself. Poor Bert, for those who have seen him on the odd video in the past, became a diabetic over the last sort of 3 or 4 months and has gone blind. So I'm amazed. He's just trust and love, and he loves his exercise. Now we've got his insulin dose right, he loves his exercise again. Yeah, so he's enjoying the sunny day and a nice walk. Another interesting little feature is obviously lots of parts of the countryside, there's lots of countryside walks, and obviously now it's a footpath and not a railway track. They've made quite a feature of the footpath, and again a lot of work's got into making that pleasant for people to enjoy the countryside. So probably about halfway back to Broughton now. As I say, the footpath's the trackbed, sorry, is pretty good, which is now used as a footpath. It makes walking nice and easy. Okay, here we are at what me and Mrs. M call the duck pond, and one of the good things about it is there's nice benches to sit and enjoy the area, and obviously you can hear another four-legged friend enjoying the pond which is further along, and you can have a sit down and rest for a few minutes, I think, before we'll move on. That's it, Bert. Good lad. Come on. Good boy. Now, it's probably sort of the main structure, I suppose, that we'll come across today is the remains of an old bridge. Actually, it's pretty well preserved. And it's even got the old telegraph attachments. But this is the biggest structure on the line. And as I say, I don't know if you can see that on the wall, where the telephone wires, the telegraph wires went. But again, it's quite an impressive structure, sort of stone and above and the arch, and just a Lakeland stone on the sides. You think in this day it was only a little branch line onto the main coast, or the Cumbrian coast, but it's quite impressive. Again, still well preserved. There's nothing either side of it. It doesn't go anywhere, but it's been left, no doubt, to remind what the aesthetics of the line used to be. Now we're not far from the end of our walk now. We're descending into Broughton. We're going to sort of stone culvert or cutting. Again, just poured out of the natural stone. There's no bricks or anything, it's just all natural stone. And it's obviously, as you can see, very popular for walking, even young family groups. I'll just pause for a second to sort of show the cutting. You can't quite tell from this video, but it's actually quite a gradient coming out of Broughton towards Coniston, or the Coniston direction. So we're probably about a few hundred yards from the end, but it would have been a bit of a challenge on a wet day to get going maybe up here, but you never know. I like the romantic in me likes to think it would be a challenge, but yeah, it's quite impressive now. It's actually say it's a really good walk for you to do. And as you've seen there, there's a young family group out for enjoying the beautiful winter sunshine. Recently, during the COVID pandemic, a lot of work's been put in by the landowner to improve it and improve the drainage. It was a good community project, I suppose, in one sense, but it's something that everyone can enjoy, and it's good exercise. If you're like me and you're supposed to do regular exercise and get to that age. Bert certainly's enjoyed it. I mean, it's remarkable the trust he puts in me, and he's blind, you can't see where he's going, but he's enjoying himself, his tail's wagging, that's the main thing, and he enjoys his railway walks. So that's all you can ask for. We just stopped there. You can't quite see it, but there's a cracking little playing field with a couple of football pitches and a little playground with swings and slides and stuff for little kids to play on, just outside Broughton. So if you are going to come with a young family, there's certain things for you to do on your way back or on your way up, depends on which direction you're going, obviously. But we take our little wee man there quite regularly when he comes to visit. It's a cracking little playground. Well, this is not something I've seen before. It looks like a very thin piece of rail, similar to what's used on the railway, say like the Ravenglass and Eskdale. But I've never seen this, obviously been uncovered. But a bit of railway yarn, perhaps. Now we're approaching the end of the walk and the end of the trackbed. Those are obviously traditional railway side cottages which obviously survived over the years, and they're building new housing in the community as we speak. And this little section of the trackbed either side of is a community growing project where people can come and assist and grow various bits and bobs. But we're obviously fast approaching the end of our walk. I apologise if the sun has gotten a few of the shots, but I can't complain about the sun, can we? And this is where the footpath ends. The house on the left, the sort of purpley, lightly coloured one, is the original, and the creamy one in the head of us was built on the old trackbed. So just a couple of things left to say. Well, there's the trackbed as we looking back, and I'll just finish off by showing you the Broughton station, which is now domestic residence. And here we are, Station Road, so there's a bit of a clue. To be fair, it does just look like a normal domestic house now, if you know, but ahead of us is the station building. The far entrance, we can see a little bit better without the sun in our faces, but this is, or was, the original Broughton station building, is now a domestic residence. So on obviously the other side was the platform, and ahead you can see the cream house, which is built on the trackbed, and a couple of others in a small housing development several years ago. But it has, obviously you don't have access to that, but it's interesting still buildings like this still exist and blend in with the local landscape, and unless you knew there was ever a railway station, you just guess it was a nice old house. So thanks for watching. As ever, thanks to our subscribers who seem to be joining every week, and the channel continues to grow, so a big thank you to everyone who's joined, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.